student volunteers in America who don't know what they do. That one was for you. Now I'd like to hear a round of applause for the parents, the teachers, the sponsors, and the mentors without your support. Won the Japan Team America Rocketry Challenge, I don't call it a different name. Sailing back in Japan was won by this team, and they're here to fly with you. Welcome. Space exploration isn't exactly business. Launches have to be done precisely on time. Events at this event will be run precisely on time. So let's get started with the time check. I'll help you figure out what time it is. You can count on us running the event exactly by the published scheduled times. On my mark, the time will be 7:32 p.m. 35 seconds standby. As we go through this event, unless rainstorms interrupt us, you'll find that each of our activities will start exactly on time. You can count on us to be there for you exactly when we say we'll be here. We'll count on you to be here exactly when you're supposed to be. 15 seconds. 10. On my mark, the time will be 7:32 p.m. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 7:32 p.m. Now that we established what time it is, we're going to go on for an evening series of events. I will end the session tonight with a fairly lengthy brief on range operating procedures. But before we get to that, I want to introduce you to the other half of the team. I'm the president of the National Association of Rocketry. We provide a volunteer staff to help mentor many of you to get here, and we'll be running the range wearing an outfit like I'm wearing. The other half of the team that runs Team America is the Aerospace Industries Association. And all of the aerospace corporations who are the sponsors can contribute the money to let this event truly happen. So my partner in running this event is Ann Ward, and I'd like to introduce Ann to all of you. You've talked to her many times, I'm sure, on the phone or by email. But here she is in person speaking to you tonight. Ann Ward.
You represent 34 states out of the original 48 that applied to TARC this year. So congratulations, you guys are truly amazing. Every time I tell, when people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I run the biggest rocket competition in the world for middle school and high schoolers, which is always followed by a blank stare. And then from that, I start telling them, like, well, what do they do? They just fire rockets? And they're like, oh, no. This year's challenge, they have to fly a rocket to 750 feet, precisely. They have to do it in 40 to 45 seconds of flight time. Oh yeah, and you have to bring a rocket payload back unbroken with a 15-inch parachute. And your eyes just get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you see the call message here from my press team, from that paper, are you guys in the room? I don't see them. But they'll be out of the competition tomorrow. If you ask them, the first time I told them what you guys ever do, they were like, is there more? Do they keep going? Because every step, they were so impressed. So it's truly amazing what you all do. And we want to welcome you guys. And we want to tell you how it is, how you take what you all do on a daily basis, which I really do, and apply it in the real world. So today we have two great engineers from Raytheon with us. We have Michael Whitman. He is a senior software engineer. He's the first We also have with us Kelly Lee, and she does energy and sustainability for Raytheon. So we're happy to have them, and I'd like them to come up and tell you a little about what they do on a day-to-day basis, and we're going to have some question and answers with them. Okay? So Michael, if you would come on up and tell us.
Most of the time you won't be able to see what a regular engineer does because we do a lot of top secret work, but I support the corporate sustainability program at our work. So what I do every day is, well, not every day, but some of the stuff that I do is track the energy consumption of our company. Specifically, our business unit, I track the greenhouse gas emission and water consumption, and we also do a lot of environmental projects. So try to reduce our, I guess, carbon footprint to the planet, and I guess that's about it. And also try to do the LEED certification for our buildings so that our buildings are actually making positive or less negative impacts to the environment. So that's what I do.
Fingerprints from people, foreign visitors that want to come to the United States when they apply for a visa overseas. They'll submit their fingerprints and their face, and they come back to a system that we will operate, and we match those fingerprints to see if we've ever seen them before, and we check those against the watch list of people that we might be interested in finding. And we do this every day, hundreds of thousands of transactions, because also when people come to the United States, when they come to the border and they go to customs, they submit their fingerprints there. And so we check and we say, is this the same person that applied for the visa? So this is all for border security and for Homeland Security. So we run that system and we design improvements and make it more efficient. So that's what I do on a daily basis.
no Raytheon was staying for my school, so I just actually went back and go talk to my supervisor and, can you give me a TA job? And they're like, okay. So I actually quit Raytheon and went to study full time, but then I joined Raytheon again because it's such a great company. They have a rotational program where they rotate me every 8 months, so I'm working for Raytheon again.
Yes, so in that rotational program, do you get to do different jobs or different projects? How does that work? What are you working on right now in rotation?
Actually, I just graduated from my rotational program, so it's sort of, I kind of joined it because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to see different portions of the company. So they actually require you to move every rotation and go to a new business unit every rotation, and you get to choose. I guess not choose, but it's kind of like you have to get a new job every month. So you're always constantly trying to look for the next opportunity. So that's why I like about it. It's pretty exciting. Right now, I told you guys what I was doing, but I did work on radar type work and also work on the White House phone system. Yeah, those are the probably cool things.
That's not true. Michael, what is it like working for Raytheon on a day-to-day basis?
Every day you get to come in and work with great technology and solve difficult problems that are important to our nation. So in our industry, we get to solve a lot of problems that impact everyone in their daily lives. So it's always challenging, it's always on the cutting edge, and you get to solve problems and help your customers mission.
So, Michael, do you have any recommendations for students that want to get into this industry or pursuing it further in college?
Yeah, definitely. The biggest advice that I could give from my experience was as soon as I got to college, I started to get involved in my department, and I started doing research at my sophomore year. And so I found professors who ran a lab that did biometrics work. And so the way that I actually got into the biometrics portion of the industry was through my college research. And it started out just actually doing data collections, taking pictures of people, kind of boring work. But luckily my professors gave me challenging research projects. I got to work in facial recognition. I also looked at gait, so how you walk, and we can recognize people through that. So through that research, I was able to gain a lot of experience with the technology and with the people, and find something that applied to the technology and the industry that I was passionate about. And so that has gotten me to what I do today.
Kelly, I'm going to ask you the same question. Do you have any advice for kids that want to pursue a career in this industry or Raytheon?
Yeah, I guess to what Mike said, it's relationship is really important, right? So I didn't know this until I guess after I graduated. So it's really important to go get some experience when it's a great thing that you guys are doing right now, that you're, building things when you're in high school only or middle school even. And just when you're going to get part-time jobs, I know you guys want money and everything, but go do something that you love to do right now and just test it out. Find out what you love and what you hate. Sometimes it's really hard to find out what you love to do, right? So just, go find out at least what you don't like and work from there, right? And then another thing is write down what you want to do with your life, with your schoolwork. Just when you have it on a piece of paper, it's a lot different. And you can always change it because, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, right? So always have a plan in place, and it really helps you guide you in the future.
Great. So we have some really cool engineers up here. Does anybody have any questions? All around the auditorium out there. Anybody have anything they want to ask? All right, so the reason we asked Michael and Kelly here tonight is twofold. One, they just did a great job of telling you guys what it's like to be an employee at Raytheon and in our industry. We show you that other companies I work with the Aerospace Industries Association, and Raytheon is one of our member companies, that they're so diverse that if you want to be an aerospace engineer, you can go build a Raytheon missile unit. If you want to do biometrics, you can come work with them as well. If you want to do pretty much anything you want to do, you can find in the aerospace industry as long as in the STEM subjects, which are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you have questions about that and want to know, there's so many great people here this weekend from our industry that are happy to talk to you about great connections, like Kelly was saying, the relationships to start that next career step. Okay? So a big round of applause for our next and one of them is we have a team here, all the way from Waiting, Japan, and I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, but we do have a Japanese team that's flying with us tomorrow, so a big round of applause for them. The Japanese will join us there to make it a truly international competition for us. But at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Harada up from the Japanese team to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to meet many rocket boys and girls of USA. I'm satisfied. I was very impressed because I am very glad to be here in USA. Japanese after English. 1969年7月20日、アポロ11号のニール・アームストロング船長が、月に降り立ちました。今から49年前。12名の月に降り立った国だからです。
In July 1969, Apollo 11's captain Neil Armstrong made the first step on the moon. After that, America sent many astronauts to the space of the universe.
皆さんと同じ高校生の頃、その映像を見ました。私の一歩は人類の最大の一歩になるということでした。それを聞いたことが一番の印象に残っております。
I had his words. I was a high school student like you. Captain Armstrong said, "That's one small step for me for a man. on giant reach for mankind.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, I would like to enjoy rocket with you. Thank you.
So much for the team uniform presented to me on behalf of the Japan Association of Rocketry and Iwate High School. Thank you so much. Yeah, your turn. I'll come back to see you.
Alright, now it's time to get down to business. I'm getting a little hungry, so I should get done. Alright, so AIA founded the Team America Rocketry Challenge in 2002, and it's our 9th year competition, and we're so excited about it. And as we were talking about it, we really want you all to consider careers in the aerospace industry, because over the next 3 years, we expect 23% of our workforce to retire. And that's a big deal for us. We want to get young, smart kids into our programs. And by that, I want you guys to be young, smart adults like us. So we really want you guys to come join us. And we have such good results in the TARC program. We're seeing that 92% of participants say they would like to encourage their friends to pursue a degree in STEM. So props to you guys for getting the word out there on that. But we're so excited, and we hope you guys see the transition between model rocketry and the aerospace industry. It's something we really hope you do. We're in the 9th year, as I said, and I already told you guys all the stats on the slide about how many teams we had competing this year, so we'll just go ahead on. Alright, well, I skipped a few slides, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about them. We have some great supporters. We are supported by 33 aerospace industry companies, and you will see all their signs out there tomorrow. And we really hope that you guys will reach out to any sponsors that you have. They'll have representatives out in the field, and we hope that you guys will make a connection with them, take some pictures, talk to them, and hopefully they'll continue to sponsor you guys in the future. One of the biggest sponsors that we have is our Great Meadow, where the Adventist Health. It's a beautiful foundation that has a land preserve, and it is absolutely stunning. So we ask that you respect it and clean up after yourselves. It's not hard. We have trash cans, no worries. So just put your trash away. Make sure that you're very respectful for that. Also, I work for the Aerospace Industries Association. You will see big blue signs out there tomorrow with white AIA on there. As I said before, we are a company that represents all the large manufacturers of aerospace products and the small ones. So we represent the Boeings, the Lockheeds, the Northrop Grumman, all the way down to the people that make one bolt that goes on an airplane. We also have the National Association of Rocketry, which you guys have seen in action, and we'll see them at full speed ahead tomorrow on the field in the red and white shirts. They do all of our rocketry stuff for them, and this competition could not happen without them. We also have some education partners, which you guys know about: NASA, DoD, and ST's rockets, which I know some of you order your rockets from. Tomorrow we have some great activities out on the field. We have rocket flight demonstrations at the opening ceremonies, and then again high-powered rockets at 2 and 4:15, provided that the cloud ceiling isn't too low. The Japanese champion team that we just saw is going to be flying tomorrow with us, so a big round of applause for them again. The team presentation competition, which is always fun, is going to be starting at 12:30, and and you have time to put them together. It's a really fun event. We actually doubled it in size from last year because it was so in demand. So we hope that if there's any spots left, you guys making sure that you're on the alternate list to get those spots. As far as lunch and ice cream socials go, and dinner, this is your meal ticket. You teachers are giving this to you, it's on your lanyard. The punches at the bottom signify the 3 different things you can get. Lunch, ice cream social, and dinner. Don't lose it. This is important. Okay? It also gives you field access if you are a national finalist. So you will need to fly a rocket as well. So just keep it on the lanyard. All of us will be wearing it. I will be wearing mine. So just make sure you have it with you, and so we can get you your food and you can get your field access for all the access you need. We will also have we'll have 3 bottles of water for everyone all day. Okay? And one of the food known as the barbecue dinner is for participants and their mentors. You can buy extra tickets for $20. And if you haven't purchased them this evening, they will be available for purchase tomorrow, and you need to see, I believe, the NAR and AIA booth for that. So if you have any questions about that, please see them. As far as exhibits go, we have some really cool exhibitors out. I have it wrong up here. Lockheed Martin has their F-35 Lightning II simulator out. I have flown it. It is amazing. If you ever have any dreams of being a Top Gun or fighter pilot, I highly recommend it. We don't guarantee you play the soundtrack while you're flying. It's work out for you. Yeah. We have Sprocket the rocket from NASA. It's known to chase people, so beware. The engineers have a lot of fun with them in the NASA tent. And we also have Aerospace Jeopardy, which some of my colleagues run. So much fun. You go compete with your team. It's just a walkout event. You can sit down and take chairs. And we have some really cool headphones and prizes. So come out and play. Everyone wins. So it's a really cool event. As far as prizes go, this is the important stuff, guys. Listen up. $60,000 to be split between the top 10 teams. How about that? Level of rocketry and TARC, it's the theater program, so we're like the qualifying rounds. It's pretty cool. And then we also have some pretty neat prizes going on this year for Best Rocket Craftsmanship, Best Stress Team, the Spirit of TARC, and Best Mission Design for your rocket, which will be judged on the field while you're flying, so keep that in mind. I saw some guys in tuxedos earlier. Actually, let's take a picture of them. Oh, they're down there. Come on, let's see it. There's some competition in the house. Stand up, guys. And so we want to make it as easy as possible for everyone. We always have some significant VIPs and media presentations. So we're really excited to have them come out again. We have some CEOs that actually sponsor the competition from Command and AMSAFE out to speak. So we hope that you guys will enjoy that. The NAR staff will be controlling, when you guys, it's hard to explain, but there's this tower, we call it the steward stand, and there's a little gated fenced-in area inside. The top 10 teams will sit there, and it'll be regulated, and then the rest of the crowd will be welcome to sit around them, just so that if there's someone that has to come up to the stage, they have easy access to get up and down. And the Japanese team will also be up there, okay? As far as the press goes, if you have seen my wonderful colleague, Audrey, is she here? Yeah, Dr. Everybody doesn't know Audrey. She was my predecessor in TARC. She's amazing. We get a big round of applause for her. underserving ourselves of how great this program can be, and we really want to tell our sponsors how wonderful and what they're doing for us. So she's going to be running around with the camera crew tomorrow, and we have commission forms from you guys as part of your parent-teacher assignment forms in the very beginning of the year. But just be aware of the cameras. They're going to be capturing you guys all day. Don't walk into the line instead if you can avoid it. And if they have something to ask you and you're not interested, just tell them that. But we really hope that you guys will participate and be active, because we want to just capture what our head is, and that's just capturing how fantastic you guys really are. Okay? Also, we will have press all over the place. They will be out taking pictures, doing interviews, a lot of them local, a lot of them national. So we hope that you guys will participate in that as well and really tell your team stories, because I know there's some amazing ones out there. Lastly, my friend Patrick, who is a web guru at AIA, will be tweeting live at #TARC11. We all have signs all over the place tomorrow about it. But we hope that you guys will join in the conversation and make that really fun, interactive way to tell the world about what TARC is doing. So with that, I will turn it over to Trick Carver. He's going to give you all the safety and important information that you need to know for tomorrow. So you guys have a great day, okay?
Thanks, Ann. So I'm going to talk about flying rockets. That's what I do. I'm the president of the National Association of Rocketry, and I've been flying for 49 years. I started that whenever you are. And I've been the contest director here since the beginning of TARC. So I'm going to tell you how we're going to run the range tomorrow. The range will be run, see the first slide. I'll take a little detour and talk about a couple of the side events and focus on the actual rocket flying. The presentation competition is optional. We have 12 teams signed up. Prizes are cash prizes and a plaque for the winning team. The first place team will be recognized on the stage. There'll be 12 teams. The order has been published already. 6-minute presentation, 2-minute Q&A, panel of judges starting at 12:30. If you have not yet turned in your electronic presentation, you must do it this evening. Dr. Ted Cochran, who's the chief judge, will be outside to your right as you exit with the computer to collect your electrons for those that haven't yet turned it in. And if you aren't going to present after all, but you tell us tonight, we can bring an alternate in. Hopefully that won't happen. And everyone's welcome to come attend. However, if you're a competitor, you can't watch the teams that present ahead of you. If you're not competing in it, you can come in anytime, and once you've done your own presentation, you can stay for the rest. Parents, friends, family, anybody is welcome to attend. These are interesting. And as Ann alluded to, at the international fly-off in Paris, the places are judged on the basis of a combination of presentation quality and flight. So unlike TARC here, which is entirely on flight, over there it's flight plus presentation. So if you're the winner, you better have a polished presentation to go over and compete with the other national teams. They're pretty good presenters. We're maybe better rocket flyers, but they can present well, so you better do both. Here's the list, next slide, of the briefing order. And we will adjust this if any of the teams towards the bottom, which are scheduled to present during the fly-off round, 24 teams that do really well in their first flight going to a fly-off round. If you are towards the bottom here and you're torn between your fly-off round and doing the presentation competition, tell Dr. Martin we're in fly-off, and he will adjust the order to get you an opportunity to do both. Next. The rocket building competition, we have opportunities for 32 teams in groups of 8, 4 rounds of rocket building starting at 11. So you have 70 minutes, you're given a bag of parts. Everybody gets the same bag of parts. 70 minutes. We provide a variety of tools and glue, but you can bring your own tools. You cannot bring your own parts. You have to use the parts provided and only those. And you have 70 minutes to produce a masterpiece that has to look like it's flight worthy. We will not let you fly them. Safety is our first priority here. Anyway, they should look good. And you can fly it when you get home and send me a card if it works. So we're going to have a panel of judges judging them for the creativity of the design, that's one prize, and the quality of workmanship, that's a second different prize. $100 cash award for each of those. A couple of special notes on the next slide. We have extra altimeters, so if your altimeter is giving you issues, we have altimeters available from Perfect Light for $60. Up until 2 o'clock, please only come get one if you think your altimeter is broken and you need one to compete. After 2 o'clock, anybody that wants an altimeter for $60, we'll sell it to you for $60. That's a good price. Perfect Light donated all of these altimeters, so the proceeds from this sale go to the Japan Relief Fund that we have established. So we're collecting contributions. The Awanti Prefecture in Japan is where the earthquake and tsunami were most severe. So we are collecting donations here. There's a collection jar outside. We've collected some money in advance for relief donations to go to Japan Red Cross on behalf of all of the rocketry community of the United States to show our support for our friends in Japan. So please donate. Thank you. We're also selling TARC t-shirts for $15, NAR books and emblematic items, Rockets of the World, cups with the NAR logo on it. Anything pertaining to the National Association of Rocketry will be for sale outside this evening and out on the field at the NAR booth. For those of you that ordered rocket engines for delivery here from Hangar 11 Hobbies, Bobby Buchalski from Hangar 11 is outside. He has your engine order. Please pick it up if you haven't. If the team is not here tonight because of travel difficulties, he will be out on the field tomorrow. He has 15-inch parachutes if you need a 15-inch parachute suddenly. And he has a full range of rocket supplies, so he's our single on-site vendor. Next. This is the key staff. There are 108 members of the National Association of Rocketry here, all wearing uniform items like I'm wearing, who are completely volunteers. They travel here from as far away as Oregon, Washington, California, Arizona, from all across the United States on their own time, at their own expense, for the privilege of flying rockets with you and helping you fly rockets. We love this stuff. This is what we do, and this is one of our big events of the year to show just how much we support young people in rockets. So we're honored to serve you, and this is some of the key names, but there are a lot of us out there. We do this because that's who we are, that's what we do. Next slide. Okay, let's talk about how we're going to fly tomorrow. We're going to fly safely. First and foremost, we will fly safely. That's our job, to make sure that you know the safety code, you follow the safety code, and that all the flight operations are safe. So the National Association of Rocketry Model Rocket Safety Code is in effect. It's been published in the team handbook. You know what it is. The range safety officer will be in charge of each of the ranges. We will have 2 flying ranges tomorrow. The one on the left is called the Goddard Range. The one on the right is the Von Braun Range. You've been assigned to one or the other to fly. Each one of them has a complete staff led by a range safety officer who will be in charge of everything that happens on that range. And he has the final authority for all of this direction of what's done, how it's done, and he will keep it safe. The range safety officer on the left Goddard Range is Jim Barrowman. If you did RockSim, Barrowman stability calculations, this is the same guy who invented the math that lies behind the stability calculations for thin rockets. So he was the former president of the NAR and retired NASA engineer. The range safety officer on the right-hand range is Tom Lyon, who served about 20 years as the director of competition for the National Association of Rocketry. So these guys both know what they're doing. Listen to the public address system. We will be simulcasting between the public address system and 92.9 FM. Now, it might rain tomorrow. We're going to fly anyway. If there is thunderstorms or lightning, yeah, well, because Sunday's forecast is worse, so we're going. But the problem might be lightning. So if there is lightning, we will suspend the contest, send everybody to their cars, and you'll be able to hear what's going on, like it's safe to come out of your cars, the lightning is passed, on 92.9 FM. So it's particularly important. For some reason, we do have to send you to cars or to shelter due to lightning. That has happened once or twice before, and the forecast for tomorrow is such that it might. So that's why the FM is used. We use FRS radio channel 7, so please do not get on channel 7. That's how we're running range operations. Don't talk on it. Key things about rocket safety that will be enforcing: everybody 30 feet from launch pad is launching. So the banners that are behind the launch pads with all the logos on them are 30 feet from the pads. Get on the backside of the banners, or 4 pads to the left, or 4 pads to the right of the one that's flying. We will not fly a rocket if there's anyone within 30 feet of that launch pad. We will not allow you to tip the launch rods, which are on fully adjustable pivots. And you can tip them up to 30 degrees off vertical if you want to, for whatever reason, for trajectory control. We will not let you tip them towards the spectator area. No matter what the wind's doing, no matter what you say, you're not putting any angle in that direction. The other direction is fine, not that. Because if your rocket doesn't work, the parachute doesn't come out, it goes ballistic. It has an angle towards the spectator, it's going to land on the spectators, and we won't let you do that. So other than that, you can tip the rocket to whatever angle you wish. If your rocket lands on a power line or in a tree, do not attempt to retrieve it. Do not attempt to retrieve it off the power line. If it's in a tree, we have a staff to assist you. We have a 35-foot long extensible pole that telescopes it. It's awesome. So we can get 35 to 40 feet up the tree and pluck a rocket out. If your rocket is beyond where that pole can reach, our recovery judges will give you a reflight. If that's your rocket, you say that it's your rocket, we can see it. And the recovery judge from the NAR says, okay, I see your rocket. I can't reach it with this 35-foot pole. Then you get a reflight. Do not climb the tree. It is not worth it. The trees out of Great Meadow, when the leaves fall off of the trees in the wintertime, it looks like Christmas out there. There's so many parachutes and streamers and things from all the trees. Okay, next slide. So we're following the NAR safety code. We wrote the safety code. This is the safety code that applies to rocketry across America. It's why the hobby is safe. No one has ever been killed flying a model rocket. The only deaths in this hobby that have ever occurred are people trying to pluck rockets off power lines. So we use non-metallic rockets, that is, your nose, fins, and body cannot be metal. However, you can have little metal pieces of hardware in them, reloadable casings, altimeters, screws, whatever. But the main structural parts of the rocket can't be metal. You have to use a rocket motor that's been tested by our Association for Safety. That's the list of motors that you're approved for TARC. So I know all of you are using those motors. 30 feet away during a launch. We can't launch into clouds. So the cloud seeding tomorrow could be a challenge. So it probably won't be below 750 feet. It shouldn't impede your flights. But the high power rockets that we would be flying as a demonstration would typically go beyond 1,000 feet, maybe to 2. So if the clouds are low, we may not be able to have a high power rocket demonstration because we cannot fly them into clouds or we can't see airplanes. And if the wind is above 20 miles an hour, we can't fly. The forecast, however, does not forecast wind of that size. So we should be okay with wind. If you have a misfire, the rocket, if we give the firing command, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start, nothing happens. You must wait 60 seconds after we last sent firing voltage to the pad. And we're sending 12.8 volts, 18 amps to the pad. So if you've got an igniter that's connected, it's going. So if nothing happens, you have to wait 60 seconds before you can approach the pad to make sure that there isn't a hanging fire. And of course, your rockets have recovery systems. Next slide is the schedule. Okay, so this is the planned schedule. In your registration package, there is a piece of blue paper. It's like this. It has the accelerated schedule. So if we have a forecast tomorrow morning early that says we're going to have thunderstorms in the mid-afternoon, which has happened twice before here, I will make a verbal announcement at 6:30. We are shifting to the accelerated schedule. If you do not hear an announcement at 6:30, we're on the regular schedule as shown here. The accelerated schedule is identical up until 9:30. And then from 9:30 on, the rounds are shorter. They're 45-minute rounds mostly. So we save about an hour. We get done an hour early. We can be off the field before the bad thunderstorms hit, if that's what the forecasts. So remember, if you don't hear anything, we're on the normal schedule. If we're on the accelerated schedule, we will be announcing it at 6:30. So let's say that you're on Goddard 5 launch window. Well, you would normally be flying Goddard 5 at 12:30. You'll be flying earlier than that if you go to the accelerated schedule. So you should show up to the field more than 2 hours before your scheduled flying time. Except the first round don't show up any earlier than 6:30. to be there at least 2 hours before your scheduled flying time. And if we're on the accelerated schedule, perhaps you should be there 2.5 hours, and you won't know that we're on the accelerated schedule unless you come out there. So there's no harm in getting out there early. And if we're on the accelerated schedule, we'll want to be out there early. And I don't want to use the schedule that's accelerated. It's a little bit harder for us to do. But if the weather forecast is such that we need to, then I'll call it at 6:30, and we will ship that schedule. Okay, so that's the main schedule, and you know what the main events are. You then assign the launch window. This is the really key part. That's the next slide. So each one of you is going to assign a launch window, a particular time during which you must fly your rocket. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goddard 1 means on the Goddard launch range, which is the left-hand side of the big sign that says Goddard. Round number 1. Round number 1 goes from 8:30 till 9:30. You may go out to the pad and load your rocket. Before then, 1 hour before then. You may check your rocket in 2 hours before then. So if you're on the Goddard 1 round, you can check your rocket in starting at 6:30, and you can go out to the field and put it on the pad essentially right after that. But during the rest of the day, you can only go out to the pads 1 hour prior to your launch window, because the pads will still be hot. They'll still be flying other rockets until then. Please do not wait until the middle of your launch window when you should be flying to go out to the pad and put your rocket on the pad. That's too late. Go out to the pad the hour before you're supposed to fly and get everything on there so that when the round opens, you're ready to fly within a few minutes of when the round opens, so that you're not going all the way to the end of the round and have a misfire and then you're out. So go out there early, and you know what your round is, and you know what your pad number is. Fly off Goddard 6 is for the top 24 teams from first round scores. Go to round 6 and fly a second flight. That round is 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. On the accelerated schedule, it's at 2 o'clock. So, but focus on the main schedule. So only 24 teams get to fly there. It's the 24 that have the best score from the first flight. Okay, next. This is a map of Great Meadow. Basically, the long axis of the field is north. The road you come in on, the highway that goes across the bottom there, is oriented north-south. Next slide. This is the layout of the range. As you come onto the range, which is off of Virginia Route 245, you take exit 31 from I-66. You do not go to the town of the Plains. That's to the right. When you take exit 31, as you come off the exit ramp, go left to Old Tavern, to Great Meadow. There will be signs. It's 2 miles down the road on your left. And then as you come down the road, just across the top of the slide there, you will enter what's gate 5. There are 2 big banners at this gate that say Team America Rocketry Challenge. Enter that gate, and there will be people there to direct you to parking. Parking is just inside the gate. And then just after the parking area, there is an NAR tent, which has 3 big peaks on the roof. It's 60 feet long, has a 3-peak roof with a red flag on it. That is the NAR information, registration, sales, everything tent. And just past that is the team area. The team area is students only. And I'll show you more detail of what's in there. And just past the team area is a great long wooden fence that delineates the entire horse race course. We're flying a horse racing course, a steeplechase course with high-priced horses. So the whole place was founded as the equestrian center. They just let us use it when they're not doing horse races. So there's a gorgeous wooden rail that surrounds the entire flying area. And inside that rail is NAR people and students only. No adults may go out on the flying field for any reason. We'll have gate guards to make sure that that's true. And so the flying pads are about 400 feet out onto the race course. Next slide. The team area that you'll be entering with your rocket, you enter through one gate which has egg issue at it. And inside that team area there's a tent to your left. It's about 120 feet long with tables and chairs in it, where you can do final preparations on your rocket under shelter. And then you take it to the check-in tent, which is also in this team area, to check it in for flight, get approval and clearance to move out to the launch pad. When you're done with your launch, you bring the rocket back to that same tent for returns. So all of that is inside a fenced area that Access is permitted only for students and NAR personnel. Next. So let's go through step by step what you're going to do tomorrow. First, tonight, or tomorrow morning early, if the teams can't get in tonight, you go to registration. If you haven't done that yet, go there, because you have to get your name badges. You don't really need a parking pass unless you're in a VIP or handicap spot. Your food tickets are your credentials. This is your food ticket in addition to your identity ticket. And the color of this determines who gets onto the field. If you're wearing a blue one or a red one, blue is student competitor, red is NAR staff. Those are the only colors that are allowed on the field other than on the flight contest record. Tonight, get any rockets that you shipped ahead to Aurora Flight Sciences. They're kept outside. Went over to Aurora this afternoon with 2 big trucks and brought all of your rockets here, so pick them up tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, Hangar 11 Hobbies is outside. If you want to have your parachute checked, if you have any questions about whether your parachute is going to pass muster tomorrow at bigger 14 inches, less than 16 inches, we will do a courtesy check tonight outside. We have the measuring tools, and if you want us to check your parachute tonight, you still have to have it checked tomorrow. But if you want us to check it tonight, just to be sure, we'll do it. No charge or anything. But it doesn't eliminate the fact that you still have to get it checked tomorrow. But if you have any doubt at all, we'll be happy to check it for you tonight, just to let you know that you're good, or you better go see Bobby and buy a 15-inch parachute. Next slide. So, park in the general parking area. It's no pre-assigned spaces. This is grass. The entire field is grass. You'll be parking on grass. There is no paid parking or anything. Now, don't get there earlier than 6:30, but if you're in the first fly-off round, you should get there about 6:30, because you can start checking in right after that. You get your egg first. Go to egg issue to get your egg. All the eggs are numbered, and they all have on them the weight. Here's 10th of a gram. So you can pick, you know exactly what the egg weighs. If you want to pick an egg that's 60.3 grams, we probably have one that is 60.3 grams if you look long enough. We don't have any that are at the full 63 gram limit. The eggs are skinny this year. We do have a lot that are around 60 grams. Then you can go put your egg in your rocket, and from that point on, if you're inside the team area, and only students can do anything with the rocket. This is a student rocket contest. So your adult mentor, your sponsor, your parent, nobody can help you. The students have to do it all. You can't give them a cell phone call, send them a text message, and ask, how do I? The students have to do it all. This is a student versus student competition, not student versus adult. So all teams have to detach themselves completely from any support or help from adults until your rocket lands. And if you need help from somebody to go find it out in the forest or something, you can get help for that. But frankly, if your rocket is up 45 seconds and the wind is less than 20 miles an hour, you cannot put it in a tree where we're landing. The trees are further away than that. The only problem would be if you kept your rocket up for 2 minutes, you could end up in a tree. So you can get help for recovery, but you can't get help for flying. Okay, next. So let's say you've got your egg. Your egg is in your rocket. So now, up to 2 hours before your flight window, go to check-in is inside the student team area. Present your rocket with your altimeter and parachute not yet packed inside. We're going to look at your altimeter to verify it's the right time, put a mark on it, measure your parachute. We're not going to pull your egg out. You can have your egg all packed and everything, but we want to look at your altimeter and your parachute. You have to certify to us at check-in that the rocket you're presenting has flown before. You have to have flown this rocket before. If you built a brand new rocket coming here and did a test flight, this can't be its test flight. We're going to weigh your rocket, we're going to measure it. You're going to have to tell us what rocket motor you're using. If you can't remember what they are, you're going to have to pull them out and show us. If you remember, and you can tell us, including the delay time, we'll take your word for it. But if you can't remember they're coming out, we're going to have to look at it. And if your rocket has a really funny design, little tiny fins or something where we wonder if it's really stable, we'll make you show us where the center of pressure is, which you should have calculated. If your rocket is a normal one with heavy nose, big fins, we're not going to do that. But there are some very strange rockets, and for those who want some proof that you know that it's stable. Remember, your launch pad number has been pre-assigned, so you already know what pad you're going to after you go through check-in. Next slide. So, you finish check-in and say your rocket is good to go. 1 hour before your launch window opens, you can go out to the launch pad area and set your rocket up and be ready to fly when your launch window opens. You can't go out more than 1 hour before your launch window opens, except the first launch window where there's nobody flying in it, because the pads are still in use. What we don't want is teams trying to load pads while the pads next to them are flying. It's very disruptive. So if everyone would load their rockets the hour before the flight window and be done with it, then during the flight window we're only flying, not loading. That one's much more smoothly. We'll have lots of NAR people out there to help you, to explain how the pad pivots work, to clean the launch rods, to provide any form of assistance that you need at the last minute to get your rocket ready to fly. If you have your own launch tower, pad, radio, whatever, you have to carry it out there, and it does have to go through safety check. We do have to look at your launch system, or you can use ours. Remember, we use 6-foot-long, 1/4-inch diameter launch rods with 1 pair of micro clips that has 12.8 volts from a car battery, 18 amps. That's what we provide. If you need anything else, you have to provide it. I know a number of you have brought rails, and that's fine. But you have to show them to us to safety check in. Next. Okay? So during the launch window, you fly. You have a 1 hour period of time. If we go to the accelerated schedule, the rounds that have less than, that have only 18 teams in them will be 45 minutes long. But normally the rounds will all be 1 hour. You have to fly during that period of time. When you are ready to fly, stand by your pad and you hold up the paddle. It's like a ping pong paddle. It has your pad number on it. Hold that up. And the RSO will point at you and put you in the queue, the waiting list, and then you can put it down. That's it. When you hold that up, it says, I'm ready to fly when you're ready to fly. And so as soon as we have a timing team ready, we will put you in the air if you're next, or we'll put you in the queue so that we'll get to you soon. But you're putting the paddle up, it's your signal that you're ready to go. So it will go at any time after you hold that paddle up. So the RSO will ask you right before you're going to fly to go up and put your ear against your rocket, make sure the altimeter is still going beep, 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 indicating that it has not yet triggered due to a wind gust. So he wants that verification from the team before you fly at the very last minute. Then you step back 30 feet, wave to your support people back in the spectator area, because the public address announcer will now be announcing your team name and your team information. If you gave us something to say that was credible and repeatable, this is the heaven edited. There's some really good stuff in there, but we're really not saying some of that stuff in the public address system. The edited version of any of you said us will be broadcast on the public address system, and then we'll fly you. And if you're at an adjacent pad and you're asked to step back due to the pad next to you flying, please do step back. So if you do not get your flight off in that launch window, if you don't raise the paddle in that launch window, you can't fly. If for some reason you're not ready, there is no reschedule, there's nothing, you're done. If you have raised the paddle before the end of the window, and we just haven't got to you yet, you can fly. But if you have a misfire at that point, you're done. We've never had a team fail to make their flight on time. We have one, but that's because they had complex electronics on board that was smoked. The rocket couldn't be flown. Everyone else has been ready on time, and the rocket was flown on time. Next. Okay, you've flown. Great flight. Good altitude, good duration, looking good. Now you go get it. You then take the part of the rocket containing the egg and altimeter, or the whole rocket, back to returns. And you must remove the egg from the rocket. You remove it from all of its padding, you remove it from whatever it's in, you take a bare raw egg, you place it in the hands of the returns person, and then they own it. Until you put it in their hands, your egg, and if you drop it, you're out. So once we have it, we'll check it to make sure that it's not cracked. We will then have 2 people listen to your altimeter, record the score, and ask them to sign the flight card that you agree that that's the score that you got from your altimeter. And as I mentioned before, if your rocket's on the power line, don't get it. If it's in a tree, come back to the check-in area and get somebody from our returns crew to come help you get it out of the tree. Next. Okay, so right after the 5th round has been flown, all 101 teams have flown, we'll do the score count. And the top 24 scores go to a fly-off round. So actually we take the best team out of each round, Goddard one, two, etc. So the best score out of any round goes in, and then the 19 other best scores, that usually turns out to be the same as the 24 top scores. So those teams get a second flight. And remember, your score in TARC for the winners, the top 20 teams, is the sum of your 2 flights, not just your best of 2. It's the sum of 2. So if you had a great first flight, you can still not get a place at all if your second flight is really poor. What we want is for a team to be repeatedly excellent. Your rocket performs very, very well the first time, and it performs very, very well the second time. You should be the winner. It can't be just on one lucky flight. So 24 teams will go into a fly-off. Those teams will be posted on the event scoreboard. You'll have pieces of paper with a list of 24, no later than 2, but it's usually earlier than that. And as soon as we made that announcement of who those teams are, check-in is open. And then you'll fly from 3 to 4. You have to return your rocket after your second flight by 4:30 for your score to count. The 25th through 29th place teams will be offered the opportunity to do a demonstration flight. Not for score, but for the VIPs who'll all get here late in the day when all the kids have done flying, and they wonder where all the rockets are. Well, the 25th through 29th teams get a chance to show off anyway and have their rockets flown in front of all the VIPs. Okay, next. A couple key examples to remind you about. The egg and altimeter have to land without being caught by a human. You cannot catch them. They must land by themselves without any human touching them. And you have to use only a 15-inch parachute, plus or minus an inch, for recovery of the egg and altimeter. So your rocket can separate into 2 parts. The part with the egg and altimeter comes down with a 15-inch parachute and nothing else, and the other part comes down